Theresa May is not that keen on stop and search. You talk about police and police relations with communities. Where do you stand on the use of stop and search?
Well, I don't like the idea of a free-for-all because it alienates the community. We know that. When people feel that they're constantly being harassed, constantly being stopped and searched. But I wonder whether or not we have gone too far. There's been a 65% drop in the amount of stop and search that's happening. There's been a much higher increase in the number of stop and searches that result in arrest, which is a good thing. It suggests that it is more targeted. But I know that people from the left and the right in the police world are wondering whether we've gone too far, and that might be one of the reasons why we're seeing an increase in knife crime. So I'm worried about it, and it is a valuable tool. Any copper is going to tell you it is a valuable tool to have. So I wouldn't want to restrict that tool.
But the Home Secretary does and is. Is she wrong?
I think we may have gone potentially too far, yeah. But I understand, look, I have constituents who've come to lobby me against stop and search, decent people who've been stopped too many times. I get that, I understand it. It's a dangerous tool to have, but equally it is probably essential if we want to crack down on the crimes that we're seeing rise in the last few months.
But if you've got what is predominantly, it does seem to be, tragically, most of the victims are young black males, and then most of the people who are convicted seem to be young black males. Sometimes don't you just have to toughen up to a group of people and say, look, actually, we think we're doing this in your good, for your own interest?
Look, it needs to be targeted, and it needs to be done in an honest fashion. And if the police are picking up the same decent people over and over again who are not carrying knives, who aren't posing a danger to society, then clearly they need to refine that tool. They need to be more discriminating in how they use this tool, and they've got to be more responsible in the manner in which they use it. But I think to simply try to reduce it on an arbitrary figure could potentially have led to the situation we're in now. And I don't say it's the only problem, but it could have contributed to the spike we've seen in the last few months. So I think you need to take a slightly more grown-up approach.
Well, my question is, as Mayor, what would you do to make the lives of everyday Londoners less expensive?
So I think that is the central question for all of us, and it'll be the central question going forward after May for whoever's elected mayor. The main